In today's video, I built the Polar Express train inside of Bloxburg, complete with the actual carriage you see in the movie. Hey glossettes, welcome back. How are you guys doing today? Now it's day 11 of Glossmas, and in today's video, I'll actually be building the Polar Express. Now, if you don't know what the Polar Express is, it's basically a Christmas movie with this like magical train, and that's obviously what we're gonna make today. I feel like most of you know what it is anyways, but before we get into building, we need to see who's behind door 11 on the Glossmas advent calendar. As per usual, if you want to skip to where the video begins, there's a timestamp on screen now, but if we go to door number 11 here, the glossette we have today is your average avocado, and this is because she sent this picture in my Discord server of all of her like glossy art that she made into a wall. She has a wall which is literally full of glossy art she's made, which is so cool. The lip gloss background thing she's made is honestly so adorable. I love it. And then obviously if you look, there is a ton of art. We have like Halloween glossy, we have detective glossy, we have Christmas glossy, we have glossbusters, multiple glossbusters. You can see me in the glossbusters, and then like Riot and Faulty. There's me with all the pumpkin goblins. There's a mushroom glossy. Like there is so much here, and it's all so incredible. So I really wanted to show you guys this because I was genuinely so blown away when I saw it. So thank you so much, avocado, and welcome to the Glossmas advent calendar. Anyways, it's time to get on to building the train, starting with the structure. Now, I don't know how to build trains, okay? Every single time I built the Polar Express, I have just went crazy and tried to like roughly make the shape of a train. So basically what I started with was the front area where we obviously have like the big cylinder. I also tried to make the rough structure of like the driving area. I don't know what you call it. And then I also made the structure of a little carriage on the back, which is actually where all the coal goes for the fire to run the train. And that's kind of it. Like I didn't add that much. It was kind of just the very rough shapes to kind of guide us for the rest of the building. So this is basically what we're starting with. I have a very rough kind of outline of the front two carriages, but we're basically going to focus on the front first and getting this done. And I'm honestly scared, okay? If you're a train nerd, I suggest you click off now, because I am looking at the picture of the train right now and all I can see is like squiggly lines and pipes. So none of this is going to be accurate. I would save yourself the pain. Anyways, I have the train picture open on my iPad. Let me show you the setup here. So I have my PC, and then I'm like an iPad kid. I've got the train picture. How on earth am I gonna do that? I don't know what I'm doing, but I think we're gonna start off with just finishing the front bit first. And this means placing a lot of random things down on the front of the train. Like genuinely, I can't even work out what half of this is. Okay, let me start with the front. I'm gonna start with kind of like the front area of the train, and I'm gonna yap whilst I do it. How are you guys doing? I actually watched Polar Express a couple weeks ago when my boyfriend was here, and I haven't watched it for years, and I always remembered it being one of those movies where it like creeps me out because of how the characters look. And then I rewatched it and I realized they're not that bad. Like I remembered it being far worse than it was. They don't actually look that scary. Like I know the CGI freaks a lot of people out, but I didn't think it was that bad rewatching it. But anyways, I actually really enjoyed it. I love the Polar Express storyline. It's so cute. Okay, I'm gonna attempt to make like the little grill thing on the front. But yeah, I had a great time. I feel like my memory has been refreshed. And to be honest, this is not the first time I built the Polar Express. I've built it 3 times now, including this one. One of them last year, which I never ended up posting, but I actually got pretty far in that one. And then also a couple years ago, I think it was 2022, some of you may have seen, I did this video where I recreated Christmas movies, and Polar Express is one of them, and we actually choreographed the entire like hot chocolate dance routine, and we made it in Bloxburg, and honestly, it was so good, okay? We did a great job. I'm actually hopefully gonna be redoing it again, a little bit of a teaser, in this train, because I thought it would be so fun, but I just really enjoy building the Polar Express. You'd think I'd be better at it by now, but I can't remember anything, but I'm just attempting to make this little front bit. Also, in my last build video, which was the post office, I think, I was talking to you guys about I'm a Celeb, and if you don't know what that is, it's like the British TV show where celebrities go into the jungle, and I was discussing like who I want to win and stuff, and Ginge won, and I'm so happy. Angry Ginge won, who's like this streamer, and I'm so glad he did. I love when YouTubers win kind of more mainstream shows, but obviously now it's over. Me and like half of the UK are upset because we don't have anything to do at 9 p.m. anymore, because that's when the show was on every night. So I was kind of momentarily disappointed because I was like, what am I gonna do with my evenings now? But then I remembered obviously the Elf Fun is every night at 9, which is perfect timing. I know there's been a few years where the Elf Fun and I'm a Celeb have actually overlapped, so I haven't been able to watch like the final episodes of I'm a Celeb because I've had to go and do the Elf for the video, but this year it's genuinely worked out perfectly because I'm a Celeb ended on the 7th, then we had a 1-day gap, and then the Elf Fun started on the 9th, which is today when I'm filming this. It's still not started, but by the time this video goes out, we would have been a few days in, but yeah, it starts starts tonight. I'm so excited. They released like a little like trailer cutscene for it and it was so good and I'm just so hyped for it. Okay, this grid looks terrible. What am I doing? Okay, you know what? I'm abandoning this and I think I want to start on the wheels. Now what I'm gonna do is, so I can copy and paste it, is move the wheels to here, but basically what they have is obviously like the details. Why am I in the trash section? That's where my build should be. Anyways, they have obviously like the little details on the sides of the wheel and I'm gonna try and do that basically. So we kind of have them. Wait, I'm doing this wrong. So I'm gonna add like the little kind of line parts going across here, and then they have like another circular bit in the middle kind of covering up what I've just made. So I'm gonna add this. See, the Polar Express is just gray, like it's black. So what I'm gonna do is the details on the front are gonna be gray and then the back is gonna be black, just so they kind of stand out a bit more like this. I'm studying this wheel so hard on my iPad. Okay, then we have to do like the around the side parts. Okay, does this look like a train wheel to you guys? It kind of looks like those things on an airplane. Honestly, this is good enough for me. Okay, I don't know how to build a wheel, but I think these will look pretty good once they're on the train. I'm also gonna quickly add kind of like the base of the train color. What did I do for my wheels last time? I kind of want to go and look at my old train. I still have it because I feel like it's better than this. So I've been making some decent progress. I basically added, you know, like the walkway it has in like the little steps in kind of this area that you see when they're at the front of the train. But anyways, yeah, this is how it's looking. I also looked at my old one and realized I could use the metal texture like I did before and it looks so cool. So we're basically gonna try and get this bit finished. It's like I just have to sit here and add random bits really because there's so many like little pipes and stuff. But I think what I'm gonna do is do the bell and the light on the front. Let's start with the bell though. So we don't have any bells in game, do we? No, I don't think we do. So what we're gonna do is make a custom one very quickly just out of basic shapes, more specifically this half sphere because this is really good. So I'm just gonna add kind of like this little shape. I feel like it needs to be smaller like this, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna add another one on top, but this one is gonna be taller and we're gonna kind of merge this together maybe, because you know how the bells kind of like flick out at the bottom? That's what I'm kind of trying to do here. Okay, here we go. This doesn't look bad, but yeah, I'm basically gonna add like the attachment that goes around the top and just try and add some smaller details. But anyways, on the topic of Christmas movies, obviously this is based on a movie. What is your favorite Christmas movie? I love talking about this topic because I love Christmas and I feel like I've mentioned this in videos before. Actually, I'm not even sure if I have, but my favorite Christmas movie of all time is Arthur Christmas, which is British obviously. I know a lot of you probably won't know what it is, but it's so good. It's so adorable. It's my favorite. I make my family watch it every Christmas Eve and I have done since that movie released, and it released in like 2011 or 2013 and we've watched it every single Christmas since, and sometimes they hate me for it. I think they're a bit sick of it, but it's tradition and I'm not allowing anyone to break the tradition. Oh my gosh, wait, yeah, that's a good idea as well. What is your Christmas Eve traditions if you have any? Our tradition is basically to always get, first of all, an Indian takeaway. A lot of you guys know I recently moved too, and I'm gonna be honest, all of the takeaways around here suck, okay? I'm suffering. So what we're doing is, where I used to live, like 20 minutes away, 25 minutes away, we had like our favorite Indian takeaway there and it's so good. So we're planning on going all the way to get it on Christmas Eve to bring it back home because it's just amazing. So we get that and then we eat that obviously, and then we watch Arthur Christmas with like hot chocolate and stuff. Oh yeah, and we unwrap our Christmas pajamas. We all have like matching family ones. By the way, I'm gonna vlog Christmas too, so if you want to see what my Christmas is like, then I'm gonna put it on my vlog channel as well. But yeah, we do that, and then once the movie's over, we always track Santa on the NORAD Santa Tracker app, okay? Which is so fun, and we also put like this magic key out for Santa to get into our house and do all that stuff, and then I go to bed. And by go to bed, I mean I then have to do the Bloxburg elf hunt, so I film that because we normally try and get everything else done beforehand, so then I can go and do that and not like leave everyone waiting like mid-movie. Oh my gosh, guys, I'm not even touching the keyboard, by the way. What is going on? Okay, never mind then. That was weird. Why did it just have a mind of its own for a second? Anyways, and then after I've done the elf hunt, I will sit in bed and try and sleep. Probably play some Roblox for a little bit. You could catch me on the Adopt Me Gingerbread ice skating game. Anyways, once everything's done, I pretty much then obviously sleep. And by that, I mean I don't sleep because I'm too excited. I remember this one Christmas Eve. I think this was like 2019. I went to bed at like 10 or 11 and then I slept until 2:30. So that's what, like 4 hours? And I could not sleep. I stayed up from 2:30 until like 7 in the morning when everyone was awake. I did not sleep at all. I was too excited. Like, I am one of the biggest Christmas fans ever. It's just like, oh, I love Christmas Eve. I think Christmas Eve is my favorite. Christmas Eve and then opening stockings on Christmas morning, because I feel like that's like the most magical part. But yeah, tell me what your tradition is down below. Tell me what your favorite Christmas movie is, of course. I'm trying to work out what light to have on the front. So I used the light cube before, but the light that it has is round. Maybe this one one could work. I recently learned that I could transform this light if I put it on a basic shape. I did not know this was a thing. I see so many people doing like these custom lights, especially when they have like this orb, which I still don't know how to do the orb. I don't know what people are doing to do that, but I didn't realize like there's so many hacks that are like to do with lighting. Wait, that looks good. Okay, wait. I really like that. That looks pretty cool. We also have 2 green lights up here, so I think I'm gonna make those quickly as well. They're kind of on like little panels. We are doing pretty well, okay? This build was scary because I feel like you look at a picture of the train and it's like, what even is all of that? Like, I did not know what I was looking at to do, but I think if we just wing it like this and then I add like pipes everywhere, this is gonna look pretty accurate. Another Christmas movie I really like is The Grinch, but specifically the new animated one. I feel like it's far better than the old one. Sue me. It's so good. Wait, this is looking cute. Okay, this is looking pretty cool on the front, but what we're gonna do now is I'm gonna lock in and very quickly to kind of like time lapse me adding all the pipes and all the boring stuff, and I think adding some detail to this area as well. But we're gonna see how long this takes me to make this look like a actual train. Hopefully it doesn't look terrible. So for this bit, I added all the random kind of parts on the top that I could see in the picture, including the little chimney for the smoke. And then, like I said earlier, I just covered this thing in pipes because it just makes it look more detailed. And that's also what was on the actual train anyways. After the front was done, I moved on to the kind of like driver carriage thing, and I added these little window details. Then I added the fire inside, which is where the train is powered, obviously. So for this, I started by using tiki torches, as an actual fire was going to be far too big, but eventually I added the fire effect thing for stages, which made it look pretty cool. And then I also moved on and added the coal cart thing by raising the floor of it to the top and then adding coal and basic shape spheres to make it look more textured. And honestly, I actually really like how this bit turned out. I added more detail to the top and some other things, and that was pretty much it. Okay, so I have a lot of the front 2 carriages done, not everything, because what I'm gonna do is finish the last carriage first, and then if I have plot data left over, we'll go back in and add like the smaller details. There's a lot on the front that I haven't done with like kind of little metal like studs and stuff they have, but yeah, I think this is looking so cute. I'm just not too sure about the black color because I feel like you can't really see any of the detail. It's like just like this void, but I think it looks so cool. Like, look at all this. I really love the front. I'm so excited to see this finished, but yeah, we're gonna move on to the back one also as well. The coal looks so cool. Anyways, let's go on to this one over here. So obviously this is the little carriage that the kids actually sat in, so it's got like seats and stuff and it's very cozy. And because I want to use this for making like recreating the hot chocolate scene, I need to make it big. Like, I need to make it so it's like an actual train carriage you can go into, and I'm scared I've made the rest of them too narrow, so this one might be slightly wider and kind of stick out a bit more compared to the front of the train, but it's fine. Okay, I think this will look really cute. So what I think I'm gonna do is have it this wide, like double of this, kind of like this, and then in a second I'm gonna walk over it and see if the size is okay. I think this will be fine. I think this is wide enough to have like the chairs and then the thing in the middle. Anyways, making this video has sent me into like a Polar Express spiral. I spent last night like 2 hours watching every single Polar Express like YouTube documentary ever about theories and stuff, because why not? I just tend to hyperfixate on everything. Also, I wanted to ask you guys if there's any other Christmas videos you'd like to see, then comment them down below. Obviously I'm posting every day and I do have like every video kind of planned out. However, I was considering like changing some, so if you guys have a good idea, then let me know and I may swap it out for what I've got. I have a really cool one that I'm working on where, okay, you all remember when I built Dress to Impress last year? That's like my most viewed video ever. Well, I've wanted to do other Roblox games and I'm starting on one, so we'll see how that goes. But is this too wide? Hang on, let me walk with my avatar. But yeah, I have to be careful of plot data because I decided to do this on the plot that my gingerbread house is on. Not a wise decision. Anyways, let me see, is this too wide? No, I think this is perfect actually. Maybe one more kind of block longer. Oh, I just love the front of it. I want to like surround it with trees and stuff at the end and make it more immersive. But this is so cute. Wait, I love building trains. You know what a video is that I really want to recreate? So like 3 years ago or something, one of my first kind of like voiceover builds was I built a tour bus in Bloxburg, and it's atrocious because it was so long ago, but I really want to recreate that. So I think that might be one of my next ones in like January. But I have so many videos planned for January. I have one big one in particular. If you remember the dark ages of Bloxburg next year, there's a slight chance I'm doing like a mini documentary. I'm so excited. Okay, I started it like in September and then I had to delete it because my PC was freaking out with my storage, but I'm getting back on it soon. Anyways, this is the size of the carriage. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna quickly go and do, I think, the walls, because this is gonna take me a minute to work out the scale of everything. If you see here, what they look like is they have obviously the door on the end of the carriage that you can go into, and then all of the carriage is basically like blue kind of paneling, and then the red strip of windows, and then blue on the top again. Just give me a minute, okay, to place down some basic shapes. I've actually kind of figured figured out like a design idea, I guess, for the walls. So what I've done is I've made this thing here, which is like a one window wide little kind of like panel, I guess. And then on the back, I'm also gonna have like, it has different panels so we can have different colors on the inside. But basically the reason I've done this is so I don't have to make a billion windows and I can just do this to cover the length of the train. So I've done all of these on here. However, now I'm looking at it, this is a very long train. Why does this look so long? This looks odd. I think what I might do is go and actually watch like some of the Polar Express scenes and count how many windows the carriage has, because yeah, this needs some tweaking. So the sidewalls are pretty much complete. We are gonna go and have a look. Obviously I haven't done all of them, but the sides and everything looks pretty good. This is the outside, and then if we hop on the train, we have the inside as well, which looks so cute. I haven't went further than like the roof. Obviously we have so much more detail to add in here, but what we're gonna do now is actually work on the chairs. So these are the chairs on the Polar Express, and these are far more problematic than you may think, okay? So as you can see, they're like a chair, but then they have nothing underneath except on the sides, which means if I want to make them functional and have actual chairs hidden in them, it's going to be very difficult because you'll be able to see it. Oh my gosh, someone drew on the window. Anyways, I have a couple ideas. So I think at the end of the day, if this is impossible, I'm just going to have to make them look not as accurate. But one of my ideas was that we use the cinema theater seats. Now the only issue with this is they have like the armrest in the middle and I can't get rid of that. However, they do look pretty good. So if I grab this and I put another one on, not only do these match up with the bench size, which I had as a guideline, but they look pretty similar with like the arm on the side. Most of the underneath is see-through. I could just add detail onto these, but I do feel like they're kind of short. But then again as well, I could also raise them up a little bit if I didn't use these and I did a custom one, because I need it to be functional so I can film like the hot chocolate scene. It wouldn't look as good. So I feel like this actually might be the best bet. And I might try and like raise them up a little bit. So I'm thinking we do the very old method of when you would place a basic shape and the carpet on top, you can have things floating. So I think I need them to be raised maybe this much. So this would raise it up a little bit, and then I can delete this, and then later I will kind of like cover up the sides and add it so it's actually touching the ground. But let me test out the height for this. Okay, I think this is as good as I'm gonna get. So what I'm gonna do is we are gonna figure out the customization on them. So I'm gonna kind of add basic shapes to it to make it look a bit more accurate. And to do this, what I'm gonna do is grab this, lower this down. This needs to kind of be our like base so I can copy and paste it. But the first thing I want to do is grab a beveled cube, because what we're going to do is we are going to basically like cover up the back of the chairs so it's all kind of one part like the Polar Express ones have. So if I do this, obviously this is a bit too chunky, bear with me. There we go. See, do you see the vision? It kind of looks more like the movie one. And then I'm also going to do the same for the seat, but I'm going to make it so I place it, oh my god, stop copying the chair. Anyways, I'm going to make it so I place it like directly in the chair bit so you can't see it. And then the last thing I'm going to do is obviously I need to edit the little side pieces so they're not floating, and I should just be able to add a basic shape in here to kind of cover it up. Oh my gosh, why does this look so tall? It just looks weird. What is going on? It's because human proportions and Roblox avatar proportions are completely different, okay? So when you try and make something like this, sometimes things just end up looking strange, which is so annoying. I feel like recreating real life things is so difficult because the avatar scaling is so different to like a human. Like avatars are pretty short. I remember I did a video, I think it was earlier this year or last year, where I worked out how big a Roblox avatar would be compared to a human. Like a Roblox avatar measured in a real scale, and I did like loads of maths and stuff, and it was actually kind of cool. But yeah, I think Roblox avatars are around maybe 5'2", 5'3". I remember they were around my height maybe, but they're not to scale, okay? Which is why everything looks weird. Anyways, our Polar Express build is coming together, and whilst I figure out the kind of spacing of the chairs, I actually have a little story time for you guys that I've been contemplating talking about for a couple of years, honestly. Let me start over here with the chairs. Okay, anyways, this story, what I'm about to tell you, is completely real. I haven't made this up. Like, I'm being dead serious when I tell you guys this. Like, I'm not even kidding. This actually happened. But basically, when I was around 7 years old, I saw Santa, and I'm being so real. This actually is a thing that happened. Obviously, I was probably hallucinating, to be honest, and I want you guys to remember to be nice in the comments because other people read them. But basically, here's the story on the time I saw Santa. Okay, so how this happened was, obviously I was 7, and at the time I actually had a bedroom very similar to the one that I've just moved into. So it was like an attic room, and I'm gonna put a picture on screen now of my current bedroom window just so you can kind of see what I mean. So basically my bedroom window was like the ones in the ceiling, obviously, so it was like slanted. And in my old bedroom when I was 7, how I had it was my bed was like facing that window, so that window was at the bottom of my bed, if that makes sense. So So when I was in bed, I could look up and I could see the sky and I could see like over the rooftops of different houses and things like directly in front of me. But anyways, it was Christmas Eve. I was obviously lying in bed as you do. And for some reason on this Christmas Eve, I decided to keep the blinds open so I could see directly out this window. I could see over the rooftops, and I went to sleep on Christmas Eve, obviously, because if you don't go to sleep, you're not getting any presents. And I woke up in the middle of the night. I don't know what time it was because I didn't have a phone. I was 7. I woke up, I look out my window, and lo and behold, I see Santa in his sleigh doing a loop-de-loop in the sky and then disappearing. And I'm being completely real. I haven't even made this up for like a video. I'm being so serious. And I was flabbergasted. I was like, what on earth did I just witness? And then I remember the seconds after it, I kept like seeing it over and over again because I think it was like, I don't know, I just kept like repeating it and I could like see it happen over and over again. I'm gonna be real. I think I was just incredibly tired, but I genuinely saw it. I saw it in front of my eyes. I saw the sleigh, and it was just one of the weirdest things, and I've always had it in my memory to this day, and everyone's like, you definitely made that up, but I literally saw it. I'm not saying it was real. I'm very aware I could have just been like hallucinating and half asleep, but I saw it in the sky and it was crazy, okay? But it's just, it weirds me out to this day because I can still see it in my mind, and it was what, like 15 years ago? Oh my god, I'm so old. I'm trying to find the little basic shape thing so I can transform this thing again. Okay, whatever. Wait, is that it? No, that's kind of it, I guess. It's not as interesting as I thought it was gonna be, but yeah, that was kind of cool. Okay, what I'm gonna do is quickly finish these chairs because as you can tell by this mess, the spacing is driving me crazy. I don't know what I'm doing. And then once we're back, I think we're gonna do some details on like the walls with the doors and stuff, and then everything else I should be able to get done pretty quickly, and then we should be pretty much finished. Like, I feel like this isn't as huge of a project as I was expecting. Okay, so I ended up finishing all of the chairs. However, I realized that the carriage was far too wide, so I actually had to rebuild the entire thing all over again. But after I finally did that, I moved on to finishing the carriage, more specifically making the roof. Now, the Polar Express has a curved roof with quite a bit of detail, so it's kind of hard to do, but I started off by making the first layer of curves, I guess, and coloring this with the texture, then adding the structural details also I can copy and paste it. Then I added this on both sides of the train, and I moved on to the middle kind of top curve, which I used the structural kind of like curved shape for. And I had to be really careful on this because the size of the roof had to be able to be hidden underneath another layer of roof, because obviously this had to look good from the outside too, so I had to be able to hide all of this. But once the roof was done, I actually made the lights, and the Polar Express has these kind of like orb hanging lights. So to make these, especially to make them at the custom height of the ceiling, I actually used the round candle that I then added onto a basic shape and flipped upside down. Then to add the kind of like hanging part, I just used a structural, and honestly they turned out so cute. After that, I did the final walls of the carriage, so I added like the paneling and the vents and the doors and everything, and then I added this round part on the back of the train that you'll also see in a second. So I have a lot of the build done. Pretty much the kind of like carriage area is pretty much done. I think it looks so cute inside. Look at this. It's honestly so cool in here. And also I added like frost to the windows. Can you see the decal? I added this. It does look so much better in the dark, but I added it on both sides, and I just think the end bit as well looks so cute. But basically what I'm gonna go and do is finish off the final details. We're gonna start a little bit of it now, but I do feel like this looks better in the dark. Like if I add the dark on it here, I feel like especially inside just looks so much like better. You can really see the frost as well. But yeah, we're just gonna add some final details. There's not much more to add. I also want to keep it kind of simple because I checked the plot data and I have like 2% left, so I need to do like the decals and stuff like that, but I don't really want to add anything major. So I think what I'm first gonna do quickly is just add some trees and just try and make it look like a forest area, and then I'll finish off the final details in a little bit. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'll only put them on this side because I feel like I need the other side to show you guys everything properly. But then when I actually kind of film my Polar Express like hot chocolate scene video, I think I'll kind of add the trees everywhere, if that makes sense. I don't know, but yeah, I just thought it would look a bit more immersive if I have a few. Wait, this is actually adorable. I'm so excited to see this like all done. That's our trees. Okay, I genuinely don't think there's that much to do because I'm scared of hitting the limit, but what I'm gonna go do is finish all the decals and everything. I think maybe, was there a few more details inside? I genuinely can't remember, but I'm gonna go make sure everything is completely done, and I will see you guys for the final tour in a few seconds. So I think the Polar Express is pretty much done, and I've actually made it nighttime because I think it looks so much better this way. But as you can see behind me, we have the Polar Express. I also added some fog and everything. Oh my gosh, this thing looks adorable. I love it. So starting with the front, which I actually think is my least favorite part. Well, no, I like this front bit. We have the front of the train with all like the little details and everything. I think this looks pretty cool. I love the kind of front area. I just don't really like these two, which we'll talk about in a second. But yeah, we have all the details, the wheels. This bit is just so cute with the lights and everything. I just love it. It looks so cool. You can come and stand on it and like recreate the scene when they're on the front of the train. We have like the little steps and everything. I just think it's really cute. I love the front area. But then if we go to the back, we have the kind of like driver area. Now, before I show you guys the inside, please keep in mind, I had to stop building because I would run out of plot data, so it looks terrible in here. But this is the driver area. It's literally just a chair, a pipe, and then like a wheel and a clock, okay? I couldn't add anything else, but the fire looks pretty cool. We have like the kind of fuel area. Just please don't look at this bit, okay? It looks bad anyways. Then we have the coal, which I actually think looks really cool from the top. You can't really see it in this light, but hang on, can I parkour my way up there? Oh my gosh, I can run across the top. Yeah, we have like the coal in here with all the texture, which actually looks really cool from the top. And then of course it says Polar Express on the side. I do feel like this one's a bit too small though, like it looks kind of square, but this is kind of like the front of the train. I just love it from the very front. But if we go to the back, of course we have the main area, which is the carriage. Now looking at the back, because we can't actually stand in this way because all the doors are fake, we have like the little balcony area. I love how round it is. I just think the back looks pretty cool. Then of course we have like the wheels and everything, the side of the carriage with the frosted windows. And then of course if we go inside, we have the actual carriage, which of course looks like the movie. Should we do a comparison? Hang on. So this is what the movie one looks like, and then this is mine. I think it looks really cute. I love the ceiling. Like the ceiling detail looks so kind of cool. I had to be creative with the confetti color, but I just love how this looks. We have like the vents, the door is accurate, we have all the seats and the frosted windows and everything. I just think it's so cozy in here. I have like the telephone the conductor uses. This is my favorite part of the entire build. This is gonna look so good in my little like dance routine we're gonna do. But that is pretty much it. That is the Polar Express in Bloxburg. Obviously it's not like really long. I wasn't just gonna copy and paste all the carriages, especially because I can't, but I think it looks really cute. And that is pretty much it. That is the whole build. It was super fun to do, but that is all for today's video. Let me know what you guys think down below. Oh my gosh, it just looks so cool in the dark. But yeah, that is pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed this one, but as per usual, all my channel members will be on screen now. Thank you so much for joining the channel, and all my nitro boosters, thank you so much for boosting the server, and all my merch buyers, thank you so much for buying my merch drop in February. But that is all for today's video. This was a really fun one to do, and I love you all so much, glossettes. Have a very merry Glossmas. XOXO, Glossy Girl.